Platform Model for Purpose organization was created to grow your purpose as a purpose organization. And if you want to grow your purpose, the best way is to seek exponential growth, because then the effect of your purpose is endless. To reach an exponential growth, you will need an exponential organization. Now, traditionally, organizations are set up like this in a hierarchical fashion, but this prohibits the exponential growth because with exponential growth, the span of control becomes too large for such an organization. So we need something else. And what I suggest is we need something that more resembles this. Here you see a square where people can just freely walk onto the square, see what is happening there, get connected to other people purely on a voluntary basis. And you can compare it with a square in the ancient Greek time, where you had the agoras, where people would get together to do business, but also to recreate. And even democracy was created on those squares to only later disappear in buildings around the squares. So this is a metaphor for what your platform organization should look like. Now, we all know platform organizations because they are hot. And we see the examples like Uber, Airbnb. But these organizations have a downside. The downside is that most of the times it's the owners who benefit of the exponential growth, and the workers become slaves. And that is something that won't work if you have an organization that is going for purpose. Now, to dive a little bit deeper into this, we need to understand that we have two types of value. We have financial value and we have impact value. And the thing with financial value is financial value can only be given to one person at a time. If I have €1 or $1, I can give that euro or dollar only to one person at a time. Where with impact value, everybody benefits. If you do a great project, you have impact. But the fact that you have a great project can help others to sell their project as well, to make it possible to do their project as well. So impact value will not only benefit you or the people you are working with and for, but also other people alongside. Now, when we look at these two types of value for a purpose organization, what we want to do is to have exponential growth on the impact value side. And when it comes to the financial value, we want a fair share for everybody who is contributing. And that is at the heart of the platform model for purpose organizations. Now, when we look at an organization, a purpose organization, we are working with people. And when people start working, they are seeking for two things. They are seeking for freedom and they are seeking for connection. Now, within traditional organizations, you have the connection, but often freedom lacks in those organizations. And as a result, we see more and more people diverting from those traditional organizations and move into the freelance position. Within the freelance position, you have all the freedom you can get, but often freelancers lack connection. So what we were looking for was a model that combines the best of both worlds. And we suggest that it is possible, but what you need for that is a platform where people can get together, similar to the square that we saw earlier, and make connection and start cooperating together without sacrificing the freedom that they have as a freelancer. Now, how would that look like? On a platform, you can have several communities around a specific sub-purpose. And in those communities, people get together and start working in what we call engagements. And in those engagements, people have a very specific purpose together and they jointly work on reaching that purpose. And typically an engagement has a limited period of time in which it exists. Now, if you're doing projects just for yourself, this would work fine. But when you want to make some money out of it, then you need customers, and customers demand a contract if you want to get paid. Now, the difficulty with people in an engagement, people who act as a flock is no legal entity. It doesn't exist in the legal world. And as a result, a flock cannot enter in a contract with the customer. And that is where the platform comes in. So for each engagement connecting to a customer, the platform will set up a contract with the customer on behalf of the engagement. And the people within the community have individual contracts which will bind their responsibility on the contract that the platform has with the customer. In other words, the responsibilities that the platform gets when engaging in a customer contract will be put forth back to the people in the engagements, making them responsible for fulfilling the contract. So the platform in this sense is just an intermediary. To make this possible, we make a distinction between working on the platform and working in the platform. Working on the platform is where it is all about. That is where the purpose is created by the people in the communities, by the people in the engagements. But to make this possible, to make it work, you need to do some activities in the platform. And these are three main groups of activities. The first activity is facilitating communities. You will reach your purpose only if you have a vibrant community of professionals working together in engagements. So as a platform, what you need to do is to create the optimum circumstances in which those communities can flourish. The second one is marketing. And for this, it's good to understand that for the outside world, for the customers, your platform organization will look like a traditional company. And they are more likely to do business with this so-called traditional company if this company has a better name outside. And that is where the marketing comes in. By marketing, you boost the name and therefore the chances to do business with your platform organizations, and the people within the communities will benefit. It will become easier for them to set up an engagement and engage with customers if those customers have a good view of your platform organization. So that is why marketing is also a very important part of the platform organization. And the final part is admin and contract management. You need to set up those contracts. When money flows in, the money will flow in into the platform and needs to be divided to the people in the engagements. And you also need to do some activity on that. Ideally, this will work with a software platform supporting all this. And we have created such a software platform. And the software platform, in principle, provides two services. One, it has several functionalities which will support the community development, where people can see what is happening in the whole platform organization. And that will help them to get in touch, to engage with other people on the platform. And the other part is the financial stuff. The whole invoicing process is supported by this system. Now, let me show you in a quick demo what this system looks like. We shift to the dashboard for 7senses, a very effective platform organization. And what you can see here are some recent engagement that were created. So this is the opening screen. And over here, you see the different communities that 7senses has. And apart from that, we have the personal dashboard where you as a co-creator can find the stuff that you need personally. And when we look at that, one of the things is you can send personal message and you can receive personal message to other people. And as you can see, you also receive messages from the platform support system itself. And over here, you have the possibility to enter your hours if you are engaged in engagements where the hours that you have made form the basis for the invoicing process. Now let's take a look at an engagement in more detail. So here we see a community with several people active in the community. And when we go down, we see a whole range of different engagement that are active. Now, let's open, for instance, this one. And here we can see an engagement where only I am active in. And when we look at this part, the contracts, we can see how the financial part is supported. In here, there is a contract set up. And when I open the contract, I get a view of how the division of inflowing money is created. So in this case, we make a distinction between contribution. Those is for the people actually doing the work. The sales is for the people who have sold the project. And the platform has, that's what the costs of the platform are paid out. Now, typically, platform is set to 10%. In this specific case, there was a good reason to increase that to 20%. And when your platform organization grows, the promise is that you can decrease the percentage of the platform. Typically, the platform should not be set up to make a huge profit, but you need some inflowing money to cover your cost. Now, finally, let's take a look at the invoicing process. When some work has been done, the invoice can be sent to the customer. And in this case, we had one invoice going out. And when you look at this, you can initially see the overall information, the summary information of the invoice, stating what is the amount going to send out to the customer and how was the money divided. Over here, you can find information of what is actually sent to the customer. Over here, you can see the information for the different co-creators. In this case, it's just me. And here you can see the money going to the platform. So with this construct, everybody who is involved gets a good overview of how the money that comes in through his invoice is divided between everyone. So it's open and transparent. And since the platform only sends the invoice on behalf of the engagement, everybody in the engagement should consent to the invoice before the invoice will be sent to the customer. And then later when the invoice pays, the money will be sent to the people mentioned over here according to the division here. So that's a very important part. Everybody should consent. And with that, you have supported by the system, very transparent process of the money flow. This is what I wanted to show you as a quick overview of how a platform organization works, and looking forward working with you to make your organization really grow exponentially.